everybody, it's Erica and this is Batty Chatty once again, and today we have an awesome topic. We are going to be talking about horror movies that are based on true life events or people, and also horror movies that are based on legends, which I think is going to be really cool. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, let's see here. I didn't know if we wanted to do the legends first or the true life first. I've got hey Dino, how's it going? I've got things pulled up on my computer so that I have a list of quite a few movies. Some of them you probably wouldn't think are based on real events, or some of these things are loosely based, obviously, but yeah, I really like the movies that are based on legends. Actually, those, let's face it, I love most all horror movies, but I have a real love for movies that are based like urban legends and stuff like that. I really like those for some reason. Hey Wayne. Laura Constantine. Is that a movie, Dino? Or is that a person that a horror movie's based on? I don't know that name for some reason, or it's not coming to my brain. Let's see here. I was tagging when oh, no worries. Tag away. Anyway, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and start with the movies that are actually based on true stories, because those are pretty cool. And I brought up a website here, and really I was very surprised by some of the movies that are on this website. I Spit on Your Grave was a bad movie. It didn't have that one listed on this site, but I don't know if that's based on legends. What are some of your favorite horror movies based on legends? I am going to definitely get into that. Urban Legends is one of my favorites based on legends. Let's see here. The Hitcher. Let's see here. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Let's see here. I would also put The Hills Have Eyes as well in with that, because it's not even, that's partially loosely based on true life and sort of legend. Ed Gein, yes, there's been several movies that are loosely based on some of the crimes that he committed, and we're definitely going to get into that. Amityville, yes, absolutely. Let's do the true live ones first, because I think that's just about Say That Last Summer. Wolf Creek, yes, Wolf Creek is definitely one of them. This is Open Water, absolutely. I didn't realize that The Blob, Fire in the Sky, yes. Summer of Sam, yes. I didn't realize that The Blob is actually based on something that actually happened. It says The Blob was inspired by a 1950 incident involving a handful of Philadelphia police officers who witnessed a mysterious gelatinous alien mass fall from the sky. It allegedly dissolved before long, but thankfully didn't eat anyone. So the actual movie The Blob was loosely based on something that really happened. I had no idea. The Strangers, yes. The Hills Have Eyes, absolutely. Candyman, yes, that is definitely based on a legend. I know it's not been released yet, but I can't wait for Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile to be released, the Ted Bundy film. Yes, I absolutely agree with you, Rachel. I'm so looking forward to that movie, and I think it's gonna be really great. Let's see here. Shout out from Connecticut. Hey, Dakota. Wirewolf in London. You know, I've not heard of that, Nelly. The Fog. The Walton Experience. Okay, let's see here. What is the next one? I'm just going to kind of go down the list on this website, and there's 40 movies on this website. So I'm going to, Bloody Mary, yes, absolutely, Zombie. I'm going to try to read the website and comment to the comments, and hopefully, you know, I'm not going to miss too many of your comments. I know I do miss that every once in a while. I've been into Vintage Killers, Emperor Nero, Vlad the Impaler. Yes, that I've read a little bit about Vlad, and I find him very interesting as well. I find history very interesting, though. It's you know, true life can be so much stranger than fiction, and you know, that is a definite true statement. Annabelle, yes, you're right, Wade. Russian sleep experiment. Yes, that's a legend. I didn't know that they had a movie about it. Anyway, so the next movie on this website is Psycho. You know, the fiction is obviously a young woman is murdered by a motel manager who occasionally cosplays as his dead mother, who's still decomposing in his home. And the fact is, the Psycho story, adapted from a 1959 book of the same name, is based loosely on the real-world murders of Ed Gein, whose fixation on his mother and other qualities are mirrored in the character of Norman Bates. I love Psycho. I know it's not everybody's flavor, but I really enjoy that whole thing. I really do. Chernobyl Diaries, yes, absolutely. Hey, Wade. Hello from Kentucky. It's not a film yet, but I saw where it's in the works. Russian sleep experiment. Thank you, Zombie. I would definitely be into seeing something about that. I mean, I've heard that it was not real, that it was kind of a myth or legend thing, but you know, you never really know. Hello from South End, England. Hey, Steve. Let's see here. And you know, this movie, The Exorcist, you know, the classic from 1973, you wouldn't think that had anything to do with real life, but the fact is The Exorcist was adapted from a 1971 novel of the same name. The book was based, at least partially, on the story of an unidentified 13-year-old boy who exhibited signs of possession in 1949, which is pretty crazy, you know. You know, obviously some of these are very, very loosely based in facts, but, you know, any movie that can take a fact and then kind of twist it around and make something really great, I love that. The Entity, yes, Antonio, absolutely. Hello from New Mexico. Hey, Crystal. The Right, yes, Wayne, absolutely. I watched Psycho and the sequel every Saturday with my nan when I was a boy. Truly great. That's awesome. Good night from me, UK. Yes, it is getting rather late there, isn't it? It's at least 11, I think. Providence, Rhode Island. Hey. It's kind of laggy. Did you see my comment about Annabelle? Yes, I did, Wade. And that is on the Legends. I think it's on the Legends list, or it might be in this website. Yeah, it is laggy, and plus because I'm reading other things, I'm kind of behind on some of the comments. I'm sorry about that. Wasn't Amityville proved a hoax? You know, I have heard that. Stephen, but I'm not sure. Let's see here. I don't think a medieval was based on a hoax unless there's a crap load of people who all believe in the same thing. Everybody that has claimed to be in the house has stated that they feel weird and strange things happening to them when they enter the home. Yeah, you know, it's crazy how some of that is. What is the one where the psycho is calling from the babysitter from the basement? That is When a Stranger Calls. And that is in the Legends, absolutely. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Craven said the idea stemmed from an article that he read in the Los Angeles Times about a family in Cambodia refugees with a young son who was reported awful nightmares. Yes, that is definitely in this website thing that I'm going to be reading, and it's absolutely on the list. It's getting on for 12 a.m. here in the UK. Yeah, I am about 8 hours behind GMT. So, because I'm here in California, so sometimes my mouth's good, sometimes it's not. Wolf Creek is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Denise, I agree, actually. Wolf Creek really got to me for some reason, and I do love that movie, and I actually really like its sequel as well, but that movie really got to me for some reason. The Entity scared the crap out of me, and that's based on a true story. Karina, yes, The Entity, I saw that when I was fairly young. I don't remember the year it came out, but it's a great movie, and it totally made me scared. I mean, especially because there wasn't a lot of movies out at the time that were scary that said in the beginning, oh, this is based on a true story. And, you know, whenever it says that, to me, it always makes things a little bit scarier. Even if it's just slightly based on a true story, it's still based on a true story. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, even if only some of these things happen, I can't believe some of these things happen. So yeah, I agree with you. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, based on a serial killer, Henry Lee. Yes, Eric, absolutely. All of the movies about any serial killers absolutely go in this subgenre, I guess. About, you know, based on true life events. And I love all of those movies, even though a lot of them super creep me out. In fact, I have one on right now, Wolf's at the Door. And you know, which is loosely based on the Charles Manson killings, but, or Charles Manson family killings, I should say. I understand he didn't actually kill any of these people, but, you know, he did put them up to it. So I loop him in. But anyway, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. It's fairly decent movie. Friday the 13th, there was a killer that killed 6 people and gave a director the idea. Oh, nice, Wade. I didn't know that. Hey, Tristan, what up? I feel weird and strange when Grease is on TV. Truly terrifying. Grease? Like John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John? I actually love that movie. Have you seen The Possession? The one where the nun is cursed or something. Not the one about the kid being possessed. No, Crystal, I haven't seen that. And that is in this website listed as one of the movies. And that's one that's on my list to see. I haven't seen it quite yet. Can't forget the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Thank you, Antonio. That puts me back onto the website because that is the next movie that is listed. The fiction is a group of friends are terrorized by an isolated family of rural cannibals, including the now iconic Leatherface. The facts of the Texas Chainsaw is it was marketed as based on a true story, which isn't entirely accurate, although Leatherface was inspired by the real-life Ed Gein, who also wore human skin over his own. So really the only based on true event type of thing was the Leatherface character wearing human skin over his own, relating to Ed Gein. The whole family of cannibals and all that was all fabrication. Incident at Loch Ness. I've not seen that. Haunting in Connecticut is genuinely creepy. I agree with you, Wayne. I really like Haunting in Connecticut, and I like Haunting in Connecticut Part 2, Ghost of Georgia's. Now, I don't know if the second part is based on any kind of real life anything, but I do totally like that. I believe I'm going to have to switch into the other room now, but because I think my husband's home, but that's okay. I'm still going live with the feed. Be right back. Hey, honey, I'm in the middle of my live feed.
All right.
Be right back.
Am I on camera when I walk by?
You're not on here. I'm going to move it right now. All right. Let's move to the other room. Okay. Here we go. All right. There we go. No big deal. Anyway, so let's keep moving on. So, you heard that Wolf Creek was actually based on real incidents. Yes, Crystal. That is also in this website. Everybody tells me that Jacob's Ladder is truly terrifying. That movie made me fall asleep. You know, it's been a really long time since I have seen Jacob's Ladder. I remember it as being pretty creepy, but I can't recall it too much. I just remember it as being kind of creepy. Let's see here. How come you don't answer everything? I miss some comments. I'm sorry. I missed some comments. That's all. The Changeling was awesome. I feel Saw could have been a true story. Wouldn't that be crazy? Say hi, Bell Rooney. Hi, Bell Rooney. And now we have The Curse of La Llorona. You know, I've heard of that. I just don't know. I don't know too much about it. Hey, George. Hey, Carrie. What's scarier, horror films based on real life events, or people who get the idea of murder after viewing one too many horror films, not even horror at times, human behavior? People can be scary. You know, you don't know what makes this person tick or that person tick, and you know, just general public can be scary at times. So yeah, I don't, I think there has to be a combination of a lot of things for somebody to actually act out some violent things. So I don't believe that, I don't actually believe that people would act out those kind of things from watching too many horror films unless there's something actually wrong with them in the first place. That's my take of that. The Beast of Bay Road. I've not heard of that, Dino. Nice. Let's see here. I'm gonna rattle off another one on this website, which is Jaws, one of my very favorite movies. The facts on Jaws is Jaws was inspired by the 1916 deaths in New Jersey of 5 victims at the teeth of one ferocious rogue shark. Now, that rogue shark was actually said to be a bull shark, not a great white, but I do like that they changed it to a great white because I love great whites. But very scary film. You know, I don't know too many other films that have made such a lasting impact on so many people, you know, being afraid to go in the water, you know, for years and years. In fact, generation after generation. Friday the 13th 2, his potato sack mask was based on a serial killer from Texas. Oh, nice. Nice, Antonio. Texas Chainsaw was based on killer Ed Gein, I think. Yes, you are correct, George. Absolutely. Hey, Steve. Hi, Erica. I'm pretty sure someone has talked about the Conjuring universe. All the paranormal cases in the film were based on true events. The Warrens Occult Museum in my home state of Connecticut actually holds the Annabelle Raggedy Ann in captivity. Yes, Justin, we actually hadn't gone through those yet, but those are absolutely on the list. Same with Buffalo Bill on Silence of the Lambs. Yes, you're correct, Steve. Steven is the next person that commented. The Girl Next Door, I think, inspired by true events. Yes, you're correct. That's kind of a really awful story too. Jeepers Creepers was? I didn't know that, Steve. From Hell was based on Jack the Ripper murders. Yes, Wayne, absolutely. Do you have Prime? Have you seen any of the haunting shows with that rapper Prozac? It's freaking creepy on some of the things he has found, seen, and heard. I do have Prime. I have not watched any of those shows though. Let's see here. The Hills Have Eyes is also another one that is based on, or loosely based on, fact. The fact behind it is supposedly The Hills Have Eyes, and its 2006 remake are modern retellings of the story of Swanee Bean, whose legend has it led a clan of dozens of cannibals killing over 1,000 people in Scotland around the 16th century. which is super scary to me. Absolutely super scary. And what you were talking about, the whole potato sack guy, that is also the town that dreaded sundown. The Phantom Killer in a simple mask terrorizes a small town of Texarkana. The fact on that, the town that dreaded sundown was based on similar murders that took place in Texarkana between February and May of 1946. It was even shot there with several locals cast in as extras. I have not actually seen that movie. I need to check it out. I know that, you know, its movie is from 1976, but they do have a remake of it. I've not seen either one. I need to see those. Let's see here. Hey, Danielle. Zodiac is based on real life events of the Zodiac Killer. Yes, you're right, Austin. That's kind of a crazy, film and crazy story, especially since they never caught the Zodiac. And, you know, he taunted the police with his letters and weird codes and things. And they never ever did catch him. Let's see here. You are on camera. We can see you in the mirror. Oh, don't say that. Ed Gein inspired multiple movies. Yes, he did, Kevin. You know, you got Psycho, you've got Silence of the Lambs, you've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, I'm sure there's actually probably more than that. But, yeah, Ed Gein, which is really kind of crazy because he only killed a couple of people. I mean, he mostly dug up dead bodies and did crazy weird stuff with their skin, which is totally disgusting and gross. But, I mean, he was definitely not all there. Austin posters. Oh, thank you. I love pinups, and Olivia is probably my favorite artist of the pinups. BTK Killer and Cleveland Abduction are true stories. I'm looking for more based on real events. Yes, I love all of the movies like that. You know, let's see here. There was, shoot, what was the name of that movie? I saw it not too long ago, and it was based on Gacy. Gacy movies. Let's see here. See if I. It's not The Crawl Space. It's not Gacy. It's not To Catch a Killer. Dear Mr. Gacy, I believe it was called. I believe it was Dear Mr. Gacy. Yes, about the young man that wrote him letters and did interviews and things with him. I read the book on that, and the movie is really good too, and it's super crazy. I mean, it's super crazy, and it's all based on factual things. And Gacy was one crazy mofo. Macaulay, wait. Dies in Jacob's Ladder. Freaky film, almost Cronenberg and Lynch. You know, I agree. It is a crazy kind of weird film, and yeah, it's super crazy. Exorcism of Emily Rose. Yes, Steve, that's also another crazy movie, and kind of a sad story. From Hell is all about Jack the Ripper. I agree. The ghost of a woman who drowned her children and now cries while looking for her in the river, often causing misfortune to those who are near or hear her. which is, I believe, Woman in Black as well. Yeah, that's a crazy legend, and I mean, if it's true, that's also crazy. The Exorcist is based on a true story, but apparently it happened to a boy. Yes, you're correct, George. The unidentified boy in the 40s. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, Sean. That's another Ed Gein based one. So we've got another movie called Eaten Alive, and I've actually not seen Eaten Alive. It says the proprietor of a rural Texas hotel attacks victims and feeds them to his pet crocodile. The actual fact is supposed to be the events of Eaten Alive, which also went by the alternate titles Death Trap, Horror Hotel, and Starlight Slaughter, were based on the real-life alligator killer Joe Ball. Ball murdered at least 2 women in the 1930s, and rumor is he disposed of their bodies by feeding them to his pet alligator he kept in his Texas bar, which that's pretty crazy. I wouldn't want to become alligator chow. The Conjuring movies, yes. That's not really considered a horror movie, but I watched a movie about Albert Fish and what he did. That was actually terrifying due to the fact that he was killing kids, for me at least. Crystal, I agree, and no, not all movies that are about serial killers are considered horror movies, but I'm definitely considering all of them for especially this thread or this live feed, because they are all based on true events, and since we do loop in serial killers to the group, I think it's on topic. Stephen King actually removed one of his stories from publication after some school shootings took place, a story called Rage. I didn't know that, Stephen. I didn't know that. Amityville, yes, Amityville. I'm supposed to be reading that book this month for my book club that we partner with. Horror Everything partners with another group that reads horror books every month, and then we discuss them at the end of the month. And this month's book is Amityville Horror, and I'm pretty excited about reading it. The Haunting of Sharon Tate comes out tomorrow with Hilary Duff. It's really great. I didn't know that, Logan. Thank you for telling me that. A Nightmare on Elm Street was inspired by Wes Craven's seen a lot of people dying in their sleep. Yes, you're right, Jen. And he lives on Elm Street. Swanee Bean. Yes, The Hills Have Eyes. Absolutely. And I'm sorry if I'm murdering that name. I was weirded out by the Mothman prophecies. Yes, Bob. You know, that movie kind of weirded me out too, and I don't know why, but it really did, and it just kind of had a really weird, freaky feel to it. I really liked it, but it creeped me out. It absolutely creeped me out. All right, so speaking of Amityville, the fiction is a young couple find their new home already inhabited by unfriendly spirits. The facts are based on Jay Anson's book of the same name, which is a well-known retelling of Ronald J. Defoe Jr.'s real-life murder of his parents and 4 siblings, and the subsequent events experienced by the house's later owners. So that's kind of creepy, you know. That's kind of a creepy thought. And you know, we talked about the entity earlier, and the factual stuff on that is the entity was adapted from a novel of the same name. It was based on the story of a Culver City, California woman who believed she was being raped by ghosts. And that's just crazy to think, being raped by ghosts. Oh, and the next one here, since we keep getting everyone talking about the Freddy stuff, the fiction on the Freddy, obviously everyone knows, the infamous Freddy Krueger stalks and kills a group of teenagers in their dreams. The facts is that Wes Craven was inspired by reports of Asian men throughout the 70s and 80s dying in their sleep, a phenomenon that at the time was labeled Asian death syndrome, which is kind of crazy. I mean, why were these men dying in their sleep? I mean, for no other apparent reason. Mara is based on Spirit of Japan. Oh, I didn't know that, Gary. Very cool. Hey, Gary. Good to see ya. Let's see here. Think Monster needs mentioning for sure. Yes, Carrie. I love that movie. I think Charlize Theron did such a wonderful job bringing Arlene Wuornos to the screen. And, she had her mannerisms down. She creeped me out. And, that woman has quite a tragic story. I mean, she just seemed like she could never get ahead. I mean, I don't agree that she should have gone and killed those men or anything, because, I don't condone murder, but, I mean, she just never seemed like she got a good shake. And, I feel some sort of empathy for her in some ways. And then obviously, she was an evil person and needed to be put down in others. So yeah, that movie was a really good one. I thought it was really good. Exorcism of Emily Rose. Yes, absolutely, Wayne. Oh, hi, Bob. Wendigo. I haven't seen Wendigo, Gary. I need to see that, and that's probably definitely in the Legends section. The entity, yes, of course. Willy Wonka has murdered all those kids. I wouldn't doubt it in the Tim Burton version. Johnny Depp was super creepy in that role. The Faceless Figure Encounters. I haven't seen that, Gary. That sounds like something I want to see, though. The Mothman Prophecy scared the shit out of you. Yeah, super crazy. Amityville equals hoax. I don't doubt it, but, I've never been to the house, so I am not discounting what some people say that they have felt or what have you. Lots of ghost stories have been proven to be kind of hoaxes or not been able to be proven. There's still no proof that there's ghosts. So, far be it from me to say that anyone's lying about stuff. I didn't experience what they experienced, so I'm not going to say that they're lying about it, but, I have felt weird, creepy things in places that are said to be haunted, like the Queen Mary, so, there is maybe something to some of that stuff. Anyway, Wayne Reed, Dead Ringers is a weird and crazy movie and based on the lives of identical twin brothers, Stuart and Cyril Marcus, who were gynecologists and they had died together. Yeah, I read that on here too, and I really like that that movie, even though it's super weird. But it's crazy to think that some of that, it's actually kind of based on true life events. It's super weird. Exorcist, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Gary. So wish I could come, but I'm in the UK. Love reading. Oh, Danielle, the group's online. It's let's see here. The group is online. You don't have to go anywhere but online. It is called Haunted Pages. Haunted Pages Horror Fiction Book Club. And if you're a member of Horror Everything and you ask to join that, you'll be automatically accepted. So, yeah, you can go ahead and join that and get in on the fun of that if you want. Let's see here. I'm trying to get back to my thing here. All right, let's see here. All right, so we were Bone Tomahawk. You know, I've not seen Bone Tomahawk yet, Adam. I didn't know that was loosely based on anything. The Warrens equal frauds. You know, I've heard that too. And you know, like I said before, you know, I'm not there, so far be it for me to definitively say what people did or didn't do. Actually went through that town and they have a statue of the damn thing. Excuse me. Oh, about the Mothman. Yes. I have seen photos of that. Excuse me. And that's super creepy too. That's super, super creepy. I love a serial killer film. I can't help it. I find them interesting in a super creepy, crazy way. There was a lady on primetime TV in the UK saying that she had sex with spirits. You know, we've had some posts on that, and that just sounds like a cry for attention to me. It really does. Why would you go on TV and talk about it? I mean, if you're, I don't know. It just sounds like a really big ploy for, I want my 15 minutes. But, yeah. But like I said before, far be it for me to say who's lying and who's not. Is it true that the survivor of the Texas Chainsaw escaped and ended up in the nut house? Is that true? No. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it is completely fabricated. The only thing that's based on true events is that Leatherface wore human skin on him as clothing kind of thing. So, that's really the only thing that's based on real events. Everything else is completely fabricated. The Entity, a movie about a woman being assaulted by sound effects. The Amityville murders are real. The actual supernatural side to it could be questionable. I agree, Sean. I mean, supernatural side of anything could be always questionable. But like I said, I kind of stand neutral. I kind of stand neutral ground when it comes to that kind of thing, because far be it for me to step on anybody else's beliefs. How about the Legend of Boggy Creek? That's based on true events. I have heard that, and I don't know the Legend of Boggy Creek. I don't think I've seen that movie either. I need to check that out. Yes, exactly. I believe in spirits, but I don't believe that lady. I don't believe the lady that went on TV over here. Yeah, it's a little hard to grasp for me for that. Now, let's see here. I'll read off another one. We've got Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. We actually had a post about that earlier. I think Wayne posted it. You know, The Walking Dead's Michael Rooker plays Henry, a serial killer on a crime spree. That's the fiction of it. The fact is the movie tells a fictionalized version of the real life killer Henry Lee Lucas. I need to see that movie. I really enjoy Michael Rooker as an actor, so I think I'd really enjoy it. The actual, let's see here. Much of American Horror Story is based on real life characters. The murder house, the doctor, and his connection to the Black Dahlia. Yes, Allison, I agree. And I love that about that show. You know, you can pick out certain characters that are actually, they are probably fictionalized, but you can pick out, oh, you know, I've heard about that killer, or I've heard about that victim. And I really like that about that show as well. Let's see here. Wasn't White Noise based on true events? That movie freaked me out, but I love it. You know, Carrie, I'm not sure. It could be. Serpent in the Rainbow. Brian, you have read my mind. That was the next one on the list here on my website here. The facts on that is it was based on the nonfiction book of the same name by Real World, and I'm gonna absolutely murder this word, ethnobotanist Wade Davis, who investigated the story of alleged zombie Clarvis Narcisse. So, yeah, I really love that movie, and I don't think that movie gets enough credit. And it's super crazy and creepy, and to know that there was some sort of investigation, basically, on real-life zombies is kind of crazy. Let's see here. Hard Candy with Ellen Page is one of my favorite thrillers. The idea came from a news story one of the producers saw on ABC's 2020 about a young Japanese girl who would lure older businessmen to a location with the promise of meaningful conversation to only assault and mug the men with a gang of other girls. Wow, Wayne, that's crazy. I had no idea about that. That's super crazy. I enjoyed that movie, even though it's so out there. But I really like that. The Fourth Kind, I thought it was great. Yeah, Tiffany, I actually really like that movie too, and it gave me quite a creepy vibe. The Blair Witch Project, absolutely, Sean. That is definitely a movie based on a legend. Pronounced Bren, no worries. Oh, thank you. Sorry. I'm sorry I murdered your name. I do that a lot, and I'm always sorry that I murder people's names. I will try to remember that in the future. The Forest. Yes, The Forest. That's based on, that real life Japanese suicide forest. And that is super crazy. I would never go near that place. Ever, ever, ever. I hear ya. Most people spell my name wrong and it drives me crazy. But luckily it's really easy to make the C into a K. But yeah, I'm sorry. Hey Danielle, how's it going? Also, we have Child's Play. Now that one surprised me, and then when I read about it, I realized, oh yeah, I had heard about that before. The fiction, of course, is a child's doll is possessed by the soul of a serial killer, where the facts are the Chucky story was inspired by Robert, the haunted doll that is that allegedly talked and inspired fits of rage in its young owner. Robert is still on display in the Florida Key West Martello Museum. So, you know, I have seen photos of Robert the doll being put in the group here, where people have gone and seen him and asked permission before they took pictures. And you know, there's all kinds of lore around Robert, and you know, weird stuff has happened, whether it's psychosomatic or real, who knows. Where, you know, if you don't ask for permission, weird stuff happens to him. Hey, Francis. Yeah, The Forest. I have to check that out. You know, I didn't mind the movie. I was expecting more. Just as it was getting good, they ended it, and I was just like, oh, you guys were just getting good, and then you ended the movie. So I mean, I wanted more from it, but I still liked it. Have I seen Shocker? I have, but it's been a little while. Fire in the Sky. Someone mentioned that earlier. The fiction on that is a group of men are investigated for murder after a friend was apparently abducted by aliens. The facts is, in 1975, Travis Walton claimed to have been abducted by a UFO, although he was never able to prove it. Oops, sorry, I was getting a phone call. Let's see here. Opinion on Grim Love? I don't know. Wolf Creek is loosely based on a couple of Aussie serial killers. Yes, and you know, I really love that movie. I think the best Chucky film was The Bride of Chucky. I happen to agree with you. It might have been more of a comedy, but I absolutely loved that one. Not sure, but I think The Fourth Kind is inspired by a true story. Would like to know. Fire in the Sky is trash. You know, I've not seen Fire in the Sky, so I don't know. But Fourth Kind, I believe it is inspired by true events. Now, I hate to cut this short, but it looks like I'm going to have to take some phone calls. We are going to make this a part 2. So let's adjourn this until tomorrow, and we'll pick it up same time tomorrow. And I'm so sorry, but real life is calling my name. So I will talk to you all tomorrow. Mwah. Sorry for cutting it short. Love you guys.